Good evening. Welcome to your favorite current affairs program, because we talk about what is happening. It has to do with Road to EDO 2024. It's a political platform designed by your darling station to give opportunities to aspirants to actually showcase what they've got. We know that the voters are very eager. They want to know about the aspirants. They want to know what they have in store for them. Don't forget that the primaries will take place next month, February. So before the primaries, you need to meet with the aspirants. This evening, we have a very distinguished personality. He's a man that has made a mark, not only in Edo State of Nigeria, but in the diaspora. Ogbemudia Basi Osage is a Toronto, Canada-based police officer. He is in charge of a platoon. He has risen to that stage. He's done Edo State proud overseas. So it's a delight to have him with us today. On the platform of Labour Party, Edo State, he is actually aspiring to be governor, the next successor to His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki. So it's my honor to welcome Ogbemudia Basi Osage to Road to Edo 2024.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I'm
grateful to be here.
Yes. Now, we know that you are based overseas, but the people want to really know about you, your roots. So you want to tell us where your village, your local government, and of course, what you've done within Edo State before leaving.
Well, my name is Ogbemudia Basi Osage. I'm from Uhi in Uwunde local government area of Edo State. We like to refer ourselves as Uhi Hinokbeo.
Okay.
So I was born in Uhi,
yes,
to Mr. Akorogi Osage and Mrs. Felicia Riamato. My mother is from Obagi, also in Uwunde local government area of Edo State.
Okay.
And I was born to a farmer. My dad was a farmer, my mom was a farmer. And I attended Akubwe Primary School in Uhi, and I also attended Uhi Grammar School before I proceeded to travel to Canada, where I obtained a bachelor degree at York University in Toronto. So following that, I gained employment with Toronto Police in 1998 as a court officer. We were responsible for the protection of judges, okay, and the lawyers within the courtroom. In 2000, I became a police officer, and that's where I've been for the past 24, 25 years. And throughout those years, I've been in different positions, in management position, have training in strategic leadership, strategic management, especially community engagement. I'm also the president and CEO of Uhi Security Services here in Nigeria. We have branches, a head office in Benin City. We have branches in Lagos and Abuja. I believe as presently we have over 300 staff working for us. And in the past, I have also the president and chairman of Uwunde Association of Canada for about 5 to 6 years. Our primary objective of that association is to bring development to Uwunde and then try to help our people. But those experiences, I believe, presently I'm a platoon commander with the Toronto Police Service, primarily incident commander for major incident in Toronto.
Okay.
And also I've been a member of my early years, a street violence task force. In 2005, Toronto was experiencing a lot of shootings, a lot of gang activities, okay, like we're having in Edo State today. And the mayor and the chief of police of Toronto established what we call street violence task force. I was a young man attached to that task force to eliminate gang and incidents of gang activities like courtesan here. And we also had another unit, it's called Toronto Anti-Violence Intervention Strategy. Those were strategies to make sure that young people are not used to killing people, killing each other. But like I said in my past interview, in every crime, there's a social underpin. There's a reason why people commit crime. There's a reason why people. So that's why we set up those strategies, those task force, not relate to just law enforcement. We also do it to find the root causes of this problem. And sometimes the political solution, the social solution, there are different societal solutions, but everybody need to come together to put an end to the violence. So I've been part of all that, and recently I was incident commander during the Gaza and Israeli war, and we have a majority of Jewish people, population in Toronto live in my district. So I was assigned to the command post where we manage all the major incident that may occur through as a result of the agitation and protest.
Okay.
So that's my background.
Yeah, so the people now know who you are. But you just led me to something that is really disturbing my mind. And that has to do with the killings in Benin City, in other parts of Edo State. And you've just told us. Now, if you become governor, do you have that at the back of your mind that with your expertise, with your background, maybe you're already thinking about it or you are not thinking about it? Can you just comment on that?
Well, of course I'm thinking about it. I go sleepless sometimes about it. I'll give you an example. During this Christmas period, I got a lot of my friends from US, from Canada. Because of this gang activity, they don't really understand what's going on. So they call me, can you provide police? Can you provide that? And there's so much police who can provide when they are going out on the street. And until they come home, I'm at ease at home, and I'm thinking, I hope nothing happened, because if something happened to them, they may feel some disappointment. That's, since I own a security company here in Nigeria, I should be able to provide 24-hour security to them. In terms of the gang activities, the courtesan, when I say gang, I'm interchanging with courtesan. It's that, yes, that should be our priority, because at the end of the day, no country or state or even local government can prosper without an efficient and effective law enforcement and security experience. But our problem is because we did not train our youths. We did not educate our youth. As your governor, God willing, this year, 2024, first thing I will do is to revisit the school and make sure that we change the curriculum. Make sure that education is not just for knowledge. Education should be a tool to empower our youths, to make sure that they get a job. You have to look at the job market. What will it take for our youth to gain employment? It's not just university. We need to establish vocational training institutes. Okay. That's the first thing I would do. We need to go back to Benin. Benin Technical School was established by the Canadian government. There's a reason for that. Then we need to make sure that we train our teachers. We need to make sure that before they finish secondary school, we know, are you going to be a carpenter? Are you going to be a truck driver? Are you going to be a mechanic? Once we can train them in those things that can give them job opportunity, trust me, there'll be less on this court activity. Because what's going on right now is that our youths are idle. There's no good education. There's no job. They are being used by corrupt politicians. And I'll repeat it again. The problem is very difficult to solve because you have people in high places who are members of these confraternities. They may have joined not to cause trouble, but now people are using the less privileged to cause this trouble. So that is how we will do it systematically. But also, as someone who experienced in street violence task force, in how to handle it, in terms of law enforcement part of it, we will go after it and make sure that we go to the root cause of it and do crime prevention. You have to be intelligent-led. You can't just be arresting every young man you see on the street. We have to make sure we go down to the root of it. And at the same time, like I said, when I become governor, the first thing I'm going to do is to call the head of all these fraternities, according to my office, and have a ceasefire and plan on how to go. Once we have done that and nobody listens, then we go hard on them and go through the law enforcement. But while we are doing law enforcement, the most important thing, I remember when I joined the police early, my boss told me, Basi, said, look, if we start arresting people, that means we have failed as a law enforcement officer. The best thing is to prevent it. And we'll prevent it through crime prevention, through community engagement, and through education and training for our youth so that they cannot be idle. Once we're able to, you can see it's a multifaceted that I'm saying. Once we're able to approach it this way, then we'll be able to have a peaceful state. Edo State is not the only state where you have confraternity. How come this is the state that we are having a lot of trouble? Because we have 40% unemployment. 4 in every Edo person is below poverty line, is poor. So when you look at all that, we're only generating about 47 billion a year in internal generated revenue. Our GDP is only about maybe $11 million. And GDP per person in those states is about $2,300 something dollars. But the GDP of Canada is about 55,000. You can see the differences. There's no way your youth with this kind of figures, there's no way your youth will not resort to violence. It doesn't mean I condole it. It just means that we have given the atmosphere where violence can thrive. My job will be to put an end to that and give our youth hope and give them a future so that they can start to have faith in the system, faith in the government, and faith in our people. Then we can drive the positive change to follow the economic growth that I tend to do. And then our city will have to be safe. If we are not safe, you need 24 hours of service, entertainment, transportation, enjoyment for the economy to thrive. So the IGR of about 47 billion, we should increase that to maybe we'll make half of that every month. That is the only way we are going to go. And that's the only way we are going to prevent crime.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Bamudia Basil Saige. You've been able to clear gray areas regarding security. That actually portrays the fact that you are an expert. Okay, now you just woke up and say you want to be governor of Edo State, or what informed your decision? Because looking at the intrigues, because you've not been here for years, because what is going on now, they talk about the homeboy thing, the homeboy syndrome, and the technocrat thing, you know. So what really gave you the impetus that you can be governor?
Well, I'm not a homeboy. I'm an EDG. Oviedo Pataki. Okay. Not homeboy. Homeboy is for people that just came and they are known on the streets, street level. Those are the homeboys, and so that's the way they associate with the young people. But I'm not a homeboy. I'm an EDG. I'm a son of the soil. I was born and raised in Nwode, in Uhi, in Edo State. And I grew up here. And I have my heritage and my culture and everything. And people surprised I speak Bini 100%. I understand Ishan 100%. I speak a little bit of it. And I didn't just wake up and say I want to be the governor of Edo State. Yeah. During the last year, during the Talk Bar movement, I was one of the foremost dopers in diaspora that felt that Obaseki was treated wrongly. And I came out, did a lot of interview to support him. And that's why, because I wanted justice for the people of Edo State. And knowing that, so when Peter Obi came to Canada during his presidential campaign, I was in charge of his security. And I did it for free. It's not that I didn't charge anything for it. And following that, I started to really monitor politics very well. And when it comes down to this, Obaseki term is running out. And I looked at the people running the states. I realized that none of them have public service experience. None of them have the kind of experience that I have, where I have been a public officer for the past 24 years in a system that works. And I realized that the problem we have with our leaders is that they may want to do something, but you cannot relate to what you don't know. If you do not know that this table, if I change it to a better table, if I don't know a good table, how will I change it? These guys are just running around trying their best, but their best is not good enough because they don't know how the good system works. We cannot go recycling the same people, same clique, same friends with no ideas. That is why I said I'm best suited for this job, because I have been in a system that works, system that hold you accountable. You don't get promoted to be a platoon commander just because you are good looking or just because you know people. It's because of your dedication, your competence, your capacity to do the job. Can you believe Benin City is the heartbeat, is the capital of Edo State. We don't have one single flyover in Benin City. Somebody asked me, where are you going to put the flyover? I said, are you kidding me? Go to Ikpoba slope. Why can't you, once you hit slope by Temboga there, why can't we get a flyover to Rama Park? Why can't we hit underground and avoid all those dangers? That bridge was built before I was born. It has never been renovated. It's not beautiful. There's nothing the beauty to it. And you look at that Ikpoba River area there. If you know Benin very well, you can clear that place all to Lawani, Upper Lawani, and make that place like a beach area. What we need to do with it. That's how we are going to develop the state. No, they have this idea. They have the idea. Remember some governor years ago, they put some sand over there. They're going to build just to take our money. And I am held accountable for whatever I do for the past 24 years. And I'm going to hold myself accountable to the people of Edo State to do that. And our major problem is security. Nobody has the kind of experience I have in terms of security in how to solve this problem. It's not just enough to just copy and paste. You got to know what to do. You have to be in that on that table to also know how to make the system work. Those are what we need to do. Look at the transportation in Edo State. Edo State should be the transportation hub. Benin City should be the transportation hub of Nigeria because we have access to the north, through Aunchi. We have access to the south through Warri, Agbo, Asaba, those places. I went to New York to speak to a group of Edo people. What I told them is that I am going to bring Canada to Edo State so that our children can enjoy the same privilege my children in Nigeria, in Canada enjoy. And Benin City will be the port authority of transportation so that we can make money, so that we can secure our people. So those experiences is what position me uniquely. I know I will be able to drive the positive change in our state, to be able to foster economic development and be able to just muster the aspiration of Edo people so that we can all work in unity and move forward. We cannot continue to recycle these homeboys and this guy. One of our guys said he was part of people that brought Oshomole. He's part of the person that brought Obaseki. I'm thinking, and just look at Benin City, look at Edo State. It's like we're in 200 years ago. There's no development. There's no infrastructure. There's no hospital. I don't even see what they are doing for us. So it's time for a change. In order to get that change, do that change, the change starts from me. I left my comfort zone in Canada to come here and serve my people. And now my people, the change will start for them to support and elect someone who is able to manage. We need a good manager in Edo State. And I believe I'm best positioned to do that managing job because I have done it in the past. So that's why I believe I'm best uniquely positioned because of my international perspectives and the fact that I have been in a working system.
Okay, now let's talk politics now. Good to know that you have very laudable ideas and the people are watching and they will surely make their decision during your party primary next month. But something is happening and I'm going to ask if you are disturbed. The ruling party, the PDP, seem to be pursuing an agenda of consensus candidate. We see a report that came out from Edo Central, how some aspirants step down because they want to support a particular aspirant. So the issue of a consensus candidate, other aspirants, destroying or collapsing their structure. Then the APC, who's another very formidable party. We had a report of suspension of sales of nomination forms and all of that. Though we're yet to get the full story of that. And looking at the Labour Party, you have some very, very notable names as well. So, consensus, notable names, what's your take?
Well, my take on it is that at the same time, people have been away for a long time. And I'm also have been here. I run the company here, so I'm here all the time. And I understand the challenges, I understand the environment. Yeah, I'm not particularly disturbed by it, but I know a lot of people that are running the aspirant have been disturbed by it because they are looking at the spending by some candidates and they believe that they cannot measure up. And this is Nigeria, where corruptions are the highest, where we know people are going to buy their way through it. But my hope is that the people of Edo State will not stand for that. The people of Edo State will not support a consensus candidate that is not acceptable to our people. We will not support a consensus candidate that is not acceptable to us. Because what I tell people in the past is, Edo State is not all about a party. It's about individuals, that we vote for individuals. So if any particular party they can have a consensus candidate. If it's not acceptable to the people, then the people are not going to vote for that person. It'll be a waste of time, waste of money for that consensus candidate. What I have said in the past, I will say it again. I'm a Labour Party aspirant, I'm a Labour Party member. I joined Labour Party because of the principles of progressive, middle class and all that. If they deviate from that principle and go toward this consensus or going toward money bags or cash and all that, I believe we will hold them accountable if they do it, and we will not accept it. But the leadership, to a large extent, have a big sway over what's going to happen. And then we're just watching. If the leadership can get a consensus candidate based on a careful study, based on analysis, based on where all the aspirants are brought together, and we all agree that, okay, we're going to support this person. Practice happen, like I told you off camera. When you do a poll and you realize that someone is way below the poll, it's up to that person to drop and support another candidate. But if money is being exchanged and people are being muscle to stop, then that becomes a problem. Mm-hmm. If a candidate realizes that, hey, look, I can't measure up, I want to support this particular candidate because they believe they cannot win, that is the problem. But the party should not just look at you and say, it looks like you don't have money. Look like you don't have money. Okay. Then there's a problem. If voluntarily, we are men. If voluntarily we decide that I don't want to continue to support this person, for me, I have conversation with different people. I came to Edo State to run to be the governor of Edo State, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not entertaining any conversation about any other thing. Okay. And I'm not worried about whether someone have more money or not, because my campaign is being run by fundraising, contribution by diasporas towards my campaign. Yeah. So it's not because I have so much money, but collectively, we have enough money to win the campaign. We have enough money to win the race, because a lot of my people in diaspora are supporting me, and they are pledged to support. As we are speaking, people are donating to my campaign, and that is what's driving me. And I'm not going to be able to go back and say I conceded because of money, because we have money to run the campaign. If we want to spend the money, where they spend ₦1, we can spend $1. Okay. If that becomes what we need to do.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe finally, we just look at, the most crucial aspect of the electoral process will come up in February.
Yes.
That's next month. And that has to do with the primary,
yes,
which I mentioned earlier. Now, this primary will be conducted by delegates. So, do you really know these delegates? Do you know the leaders of your party? What have you done to solicit their support?
Well, I have gone around the local government.
Okay.
I believe I have met most of the Labour Party local government chairmen. I met their secretaries, the ward leaders, and I believe I have good ground structure on every local government, possibly every ward. So whenever the list of the delegates comes out, I believe we'll be able to have most of them we have spoken to. And I have a very good team. Right now they are working on that, on how we are going to approach the delegate issue. And I believe we will be able to have enough delegates to win the primary. We know it's going to be based on delegate. Once the party release the delegate structure, then we'll swing to action and talk to them. I believe I've talked to a majority of our people, that once that list is out, I can say that at least 70% have seen me, have heard my message, and I believe if they want change in Edo State, if they want us to do better, they should support me. And I will say it again, I'm not desperate to be Edo State governor. I'm not desperate, but I'm desperate for a better Edo. Whoever emerges must be the best among us, not the weakest, not the lowest standing person. If the best person comes out, we'll make sure that person wins. But I believe I'm the best. I believe I'm the better option. And I believe I bring experience that nobody else has. And we have to move forward. and we have to change our ways. That is why I'm here.
I'm highly impressed. I must admit, I'm highly impressed. But like we said, during the primaries, the people will decide, the delegates will decide, who becomes the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party. But we must say that we've seen what the Labour Party is capable of doing, especially during the presidential election. Talking about the third force, unexpectedly, Labour Party occupied that position as the third force, and they surprised Nigerians. So anything can happen in any election. Do you really see Labour Party this time around as a party that can pose a threat to the ruling party and to the major opposition party, the APC?
Well, Labour Party is not just going to a threat to the other political parties. Labour Party is going to win it, especially if we have the right candidate. When we look at those states, it's not just about Labour Party, PDP, or APC. 80% of the youth are obedient. And obedience seems to be leaning towards Labour. If Labour can bring somebody who is liked by the people, who the people can trust and they can hold accountable, somebody that they can look at the track record and say, is this the person we trust? Once Labour can bring that person, I believe Labour is not going to be a threat. They're going to win it all. But we have to be vigilant. We have to realize, Labour Party, we have to realize that we are dealing with a sitting governor who's willing to do everything to win the election. We are dealing with a federal government who's willing to do everything to win the election. But we are not in power. We have the people. And I believe if we mobilize our people through a visionary leadership, and collectively we are united, we'll be able to win the election. But like I said, we have to be vigilant. We have to be ready. In policing, we call it 2+1. I won't explain that to you.
Okay.
Here. So Labour Party have to ready 2+1.
Yes.
So if someone is bringing a knife to a gunfight, you know you're going with your gun. Somebody bringing a fist, you go with something different. Okay. We gotta be ahead of them, and we have to be ready to fight. We can't just fold our hands and say, well, let democracy take its course. Well, sometimes you have to know the enemy you are dealing with in order to fight. So Labour Party have learned their lesson. I believe we are ready, and we'll be ready to take on the other political party. We have the numbers advantage over the other political parties. We just have to know that we are dealing with very, very desperate people, and we have to be desperate too.
Thank you very much. Ugbemudia Basil Saige is an aspirant on the platform of the Labour Party, and he's been able to answer our questions. And I believe that some of the things you have on your mind, he's been able to clear the gray areas. Very expository. Once again, I must commend you. He's told us where he started from, because so many persons just thought, oh, he doesn't know anything about Benin City, he doesn't know anything about other parts of Edo. But he's told us that he's from Wonde. He was born there. He was born and bred in Wonde, and he's told us all. So it is left for the delegates now to make their decision. So that's the program, Road to Edo 2024. My name is Ego Sagmola. I do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.